Okay, I had to stop and then restart, so got maybe 2 half-hour videos instead of one great big long one, which might be better anyway. So we're decorating envelopes for Christmas, and they're going to be used for Happy Meal and swaps. I've done 25 of them already, and I'm going to finish off a bunch more envelopes so that I can get a sampling of each one of my napkins that I have. And I had thought that I might do some on used envelopes, but I'm going to do that on a separate project. I want to finish this up, and I want to make sure I have lots of these. And Santa's just going to fit. His beard will be cut off, but we'll get the top of the tree, which can wrap around underneath. That'll work just fine. So there's this nice pink Santa. When I was, I don't know, maybe I was 13 or 14. We went to West Virginia for Christmas, which was unusual. We often went in the spring. But this year we went for Christmas, and we went up to my Aunt Diane's, who at the time lived up across from Hoover, I believe, in a sort of a really modern house. It was in the 80s, I would think, late 70s maybe, because I was in high school in the 80s, so it would have been late 70s, very early 80s. And we went up to Aunt Diane's. Hopefully you're watching Aunt Diane and you can remember this. She had a white Christmas tree, and every ornament on it was purple. And I just fell in love with that whole concept, that whole idea of the white Christmas tree with all one color. I mean, I like purple. I would have wanted to do it in pink at the time, but just love that. If you're watching Aunt Diane, I have such fond memories of that Christmas tree. I'm sure you probably decorate very differently now, many years later. I would love to see your Christmas tree. So yeah, I'm happy with the way that they're turning out too. Get a little bit on the flap, and I can decorate the flap further with some pink or white lace. So let's do a couple more of those. I'm gonna sit this evening while I'm watching television and strip some napkins, take the backings off so that they're ready for swaps. I just signed up for one yesterday. The partners won't be assigned for a little while, but I thought I would get them ready. Maybe even make the pouch that I will put them in to send them. So I said in the other video, it's Halloween today when I'm doing this. But of course, I'm all done my Halloween, not costumes, my Halloween crafts, because I made videos for all through October, mostly Halloween videos. There was a few haul videos in there too. And now I'm booked. I've got videos already scheduled for all through November, which are more, a little bit of poppy stuff leading up to the 11th, and then more general stuff. And then I've got a few Christmas things done for maybe like the first week, and I've got to make more Christmas videos. Christmas craft videos. So I'm trying to decide what to do for a Christmas journal. I did 2 Halloween journals, which actually I'm not even finished, my sewing pattern one. And a lot of people seem to want to see how I'm going to finish it. I may just have to get that done and posted in November. Because it's a sewing pattern, it's not really going to be decorated with a lot of ghosts and goblins and ghouls and Halloween stuff. So I don't really think it's a problem for me to put that into November. I might have to put something else off to get that in there. Maybe I can get to that this weekend. Doesn't need much. I've got the signatures in and the notepad in. I just have to do a little bit of decorating and find some ephemera that works with it, or make some. I really need to find some faux fur to use in it, because all the patterns were like little kids with animals, costumes, fur type animals. So I thought some faux fur somewhere in the book would be good. And I probably have some around here somewhere. It's just a matter of remembering where I might have it. But yeah, I did enjoy doing a little bit of poppy stuff, and I may do more. I did some poppy ATCs, and I may do some more and trade some more of those. Like I say in the last video as well, I traded a whole bunch on Sunday this past weekend. I had a bunch of Halloween and a bunch of inked ones that were really, really pretty. And I posted them, and I posted them in several groups, and that might have been my mistake. I mean, it worked. I was busy all Sunday afternoon, and Monday a little bit too, answering people and swapping ATCs online. So then I went to the post office. I guess it was Wednesday afternoon that I ended up being able to get to the post office, and it was $85 between an Etsy order, small Etsy order, and then all the ATCs and a couple things of Happy Mail. It's a lot of money. I mean, I will get something back in return for almost all of it. I get money for the Etsy order, of course. And then I'll get ATCs back in return. And then the Happy Mail, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I've decided to start doing one random act of kindness Happy Mail per week. I've got at least one group that has a name and address list in their files, so you can go in and print it off. And so that's what I've done. And I will just pick a person on the list and send them an envelope full of goodies. Once a week, do one person. Plus, in addition to all the swaps and stuff that I'm in. I really like doing the swaps because I find I'm most creative when I have a new supply of some sort. And when you do swap, you get something that's new to you. It's not necessarily new from the store, but it's new to you. And I find it doesn't take much. Just something that I didn't already have in my stash can make me so much more creative. Like for instance, I posted yesterday, I think it was, I got in an ATC swap, or maybe it was just regular Happy Mail, I got a whole bunch of die cuts. It was a Thankful Thursday or a Wednesday Wishes, one of those kinds of things. And so I had asked for die cuts, and this woman sent me a whole bunch of different die cuts. And rather than just file them away and forget about them, I went ahead and started to make some ATCs with them. So I really like to use die cuts for that. And it was just quite amazing how quickly they came together. I haven't completely decorated them yet, but they came together quickly and really turned out cute so far. So far, all I've done is taken backgrounds that I had prepped, and my backgrounds are usually collaged, sometimes just pretty scrapbook paper that I think would make a good background. Sometimes they're collage neutrals, sometimes they're map, sometimes they're a lot of music paper. But I had a lot of ATC prepped, bases prepped, so I just pulled out ones that I thought would work with the die cuts that I got and glued them on. And now I just have to go back and add some other little bits and bobs and bling and stuff like that. And I didn't do that on camera. I just did it, and then I shared a picture of it in my Facebook group, Thistledew Creations, and on my Thistledew Creations-unique designs for heart and home page. I'm debating whether I need to have both of those, but for right now I do. I didn't have a group. I'm in a lot of groups. And I thought, well, I better make that a group before somebody else takes it on me. Especially since the name Thistledew Creations, I've used it since the late 80s as my business name. And it's just perfect for junk journaling, because it's a play on words. It's thistledew, like the weed or flower, whichever way you want to think of it. Thistledew, D-E-W, but it's also a play on words for this will do, because I love to do crafts where you can use something that might have normally been garbage. That's why I like junk journaling so much, I think, because sure, you can use all brand new scrapbook paper and stickers from the dollar store, and I do buy stuff like that. But it thrills me to be able to use like the piece of cardboard that's underneath the water bottles, or the cereal box, or the old envelopes from your junk mail or from your bills. Just thrills me to be able to use that kind of stuff and make something really cool that someone's going to want. It started because I was making flower arrangements out of dried thistles, because there was wild thistles growing up and down the road where we lived back in 89, I guess it would have been, or 90, early 90s. So I would go down, up and down. It wasn't the Scottish thistles. It was the long, tall, purple, dark purple thistles. And I would wear gloves, take my pruning shears, and cut a bunch, bring them home and hang them upside down and dry them. And then along with other grasses and stuff that I was collecting, I would make big arrangements, like in great big wicker baskets and in great big metal containers and stuff, and they were really pretty. So that's when I started calling my business Thistledew, and it's just stuck with me all these years, right through all the different crafts that I've done. My jewelry business was Thistledew Creations. My Etsy's one is Thistledew by Jag. I think when I went to do it, Thistledew Creations was taken. But I'm going to check again, because if it's available, I'd like to change the name. I think this is a good general one. I want to make sure Santa's on there. I might be able to get 3 out of this if I don't wrap it around. Let's do this one first. So if anyone's ever wondered why I'm called Thistledew Creations, that's why. It was actually from using thistles, and I just liked them. And I used the Scottish type thistle in my logo. I'm not Scottish, but I used that thistle, that kind of thistle. Stylized it a bit with the help of my friend Carla, Kiki and Co, I think it is. Sorry if I got that wrong, Carla. And then, yeah, so that was even when I was on my own doing kitchens. That was my business name, and I had it on the side of my car before I started working at Home Hardware. So it's stuck with me. This is so quiet, I might have to put music over top. Maybe I can put some Christmas carols. As long as it's not singing, just maybe some instrumental or something. I'm going to try to get this down so that I can use these little strips as well. I think I want to do that. I think that's one of the most difficult things about having a business is trying to decide on a name, because you don't want to keep changing your name. People start to recognize you, you want to keep it. Sometimes think about my father's business name and Greer Restorations, and I think, I could adapt that to something else maybe someday. It could be Greer Restorations, and we could restore furniture or cabinets or something like that. Things you think of. Let's try some Santa faces. I don't know how this is going to work with them being wider than the envelope, but let's give it a try. I've got quite a few of these. I think you'll still recognize them, even though you're not getting the full-on Santa. Do it this way so that it wraps nicely around the onto the flap. These are kind of funny in that they're not really very bright. Like the red isn't very bright. Now that looks a little redder when it's glued down, but I wonder when it dries if it still will. See how it looks kind of dull? Almost pinky. That does help it though. Santa's got a good tan. I'm not really going to cut those off, so I'm going to do this. because that'll stop me from being able to get stuff in and out. Oh, that's pretty good. And then even when it's closed, you'll still be able to see that it's Santa. That'll do. This'll do. See what I mean? It's my attitude too. This'll do. Doesn't have to be perfect to be gorgeous. Just like us. We don't have to be perfect to be beautiful. It's just a different kind of beautiful. Than what you might immediately think. So we'll do a few of these Santas. I've got 4, so we might as well do 4. That one's got some tearing on his hat, so that'll need an embellishment there. I can manage that. Just a little dab for that one. I wonder if I could do the snowman the same way. Could have maybe done the gingerbread house the same way too. Maybe we'll try it. Do another Santa though. Kind of like the way these are turning out. Almost to the bottom of the pile here. Of envelopes and napkins. And I'll start to think about phase 2 of this project, which will be maybe further decorating the envelopes or putting together the little booklet with the pockets. I haven't put the pockets onto the pages yet. I've just got the pages cut. Don't know how it's going to be bound yet either. I've got a lot of unknowns still on this project. I make it up as I go along if you haven't figured that out yet. I mean, sometimes I'll be following like something I saw in a video, but usually lately. I'm just kind of playing, making things up as I go. Now, I've been thinking about this project for a while. It's not like it's completely spur of the moment, but not really figured it out. Just a few random ideas that I want to try, and we're going to just see how they go. So again, even when it's closed, you can tell it's a snowman. When it's open, you can see more. Cool. And then I'll just, rather than waste these little bits, wrap them around. I got a call from my nephew today too. He's got Brian's name for Christmas. He was asking a few questions. It's really nice to see younger generation like that, not leaving it to the last minute and trying to make sure they get something that the person's going to like, putting some thought into it and asking. You know, he texted me the other night and asked me for some ideas, and then called today to see if he was on the right track, and he was. So very proud. Very proud that they've grown up well. Those are really cute. A few wrinkles on his face, but he'll do. And I don't know if I'm going to use the deer and the blue snowflakes. I think, well, I've got 3 envelopes. I want to try the gingerbread house. I do. I remember one year we made gingerbread houses with the nieces and nephews out of graham crackers to build the house out of, which was a fun, easy way to do it. You don't have to do baking the cookies or buying the kit. We made the houses out of graham crackers, and I think that year I actually hot glued them together. I didn't even bother with the, what do you call it? That really sticky icing, royal icing. I just hot glued them together, and I just told the kids, I said, look, if you're eating these, this is glue, so don't eat this part. Most of them just want to eat the candies anyway. They don't want to eat the actual house. It made it quick and easy. And then we did make the icing to decorate them. But that way I could make them up the night before. They were all ready to go. And my nephews and nieces were pretty young then, all sitting around the island decorating. Lots of candy, lots of cocoa. It was so much fun. If you're an aunt or an uncle, do stuff like that with your nieces and nephews. They'll remember it. I think mine remember it. We always did crafts. Yep, they turned out cute. I'll do another. You know, sometimes you think they have to have the whole image on the front of the whatever, and you don't. You can tell what it is. When you look at something in a magazine, quite often I use magazines as an example, because when I'm trying to fussy cut out of a magazine, quite often it's not a full image. Quite often there's writing going in front of the image, so you can't really get the whole image in your fussy cut. It doesn't matter. You still know what it is. You can still tell what you're looking at. Your brain fills in the gaps. It's like those things that you see coming around on Facebook, and it says, can you read this? And it's all written like in mirror reverse image. it's that same sort of thing. Or when they have a sentence written and there's extra letters or letters missing, and your brain can still tell what it's supposed to say because your brain can fill in the gaps. It's so true. So just go with it. And then if something's missing out of the corner of like the corner of Santa's hat or something, then you just put a little sprig of holly there, or a little poinsettia or a snowflake or something, and it's fine. It's all good. Your brain will figure it out. And if you're creative about it, most people won't even see that you had to do that. It'll just be pretty to them. Okay, so that's all my envelopes. So let's just do a quick flip through, and then I'm going to start, turn this off and maybe start a new video. I might have to get some supper started first, and then I'll come back. So we've got snowman. We've got 3 of those. They're still a bit sticky. And then we've got gingerbread house, Santa, I got 4 Santas, and then we've got these extra bonus ones that were part of this set. So we got 6 out of 1 napkin for that set. So we got Santa and a deer and Joy to the World. And like, I could use these just for these napkins. I could just use fussy cut or fussy tear, each separate little word, phrase, whatever, and use those a whole bunch of ways. So we got those. And then these dark ones I really like. You see how I'm just tearing them apart, letting that be a torn edge? I think I like that. And that's got cookies for Santa. I like a dark background with Christmas stuff. I love the starry night scenes, like the little village with the snow and the starry night, dark background. I love those scenes. And then we've got a snowman. I only got 1 snowman, but then I got 3 of these with just the snowflakes. So again, that's somewhere where I might want to put something else on top of it, like a sleigh. I could put a sleigh and a snowman there. So I got 3 of those. One snowman and 3 snowflakes. 4 pink Santas. 1 Happy Holidays, which was pieced together from 2 different napkins. And then we've got 4 of these, I think chickadees, I'm not sure, Christmas ornaments. I really like those ones. And then we've got four cardinals. One barn. I may have to go and buy more of the barn napkins. I really like that. Or look for one that has 4 barns. So we got 1 barn and 3 trees. And then 4 of the purple ornaments, and I didn't wrap those ones around, but I can. I'll do that off screen. And then 4 snowman faces. I like the simplicity of a snowman face. And then 4 of these little chickadee pears. I think they're adorable too. So that is a good bunch of envelopes for my Christmas swap advent calendar. I'll fill them all with goodies and figure out how to make a book that they can go into so that it's a present, big present filled with little presents is the idea. So anyway, if you've stayed to the end and watched both videos, you're my favorite. Thanks very much. Like, comment, share, subscribe, but most of all, have a great day.